Well, my sons, nieces, and nephews. So this video I'm making to try to convince you that the next fun thing to do is to start a new file. I know that everybody that I care about currently, or many of them, have played this game and gotten super far and let it go for months and months or even years at this point. But my goal is to make Breath of the Wild fun again. And so I think the fun thing to do is start all over. And when you start all over, there's a good route. And I just want to show you that route. So give you something to try. The idea here is on one relatively medium to long Saturday or over the course of a number of evenings, you could play this route and
open your eyes.
You could basically get overpowered. I'm going to show you how to go from brand new to overpowered in 7 to 9 hours, essentially, of gameplay.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it.
So you can take the Sheikah slate here and using the scope feature clip out of the Shrine of Resurrection. That does a number of things for you, and most speedrunners do that. It takes you out of the Shrine of Resurrection, and because you never see that very first cutscene up on the hill, which we'll see here in a minute, the clock doesn't start. So it's always 5:15 in the morning, there's never any rain, and there's never any night. I think that stuff's fun. So what you would do is you'd run over here, you turn around until he's running, and you would use your scope feature, which, of course, looking at the scope, and you would clip through. But I'm not going to do that. There's some old clothes here. I'm not going to get those either. One of the tricks, I think, to playing this game and having fun is sort of knowing the map well enough, and the reason why I think a good route that gives you kind of a sense of some of the things that are available. If you know the route well enough, then you can know what to skip. This game is huge, and trying to figure out what to skip is, I think, more important in many ways than what to do. You know, you could spend 6 to 9 hours searching for bugs, if that was your thing. But the thing that is hard, I think, in many cases is you're trying to...
You are the light.
You just put so much effort and time into getting your file pumped up that you think, oh man, starting over sounds awful. I'm going to lose all that effort and time. But to me, it's fun. If you learn some of the routes, if you learn some of the things to do, it's a good deal. So here I'm whistle sprinting. Whistle sprinting is a basic skill anyone can learn, and I'm going to assume that you will whistle sprint as part of this game. When you whistle sprint, you're holding up on the direction movement stick, and you're just holding down the whistle button, which is the bottom of the left-hand buttons, and then you're mashing over and over the B button repeatedly, which fools the game into thinking that your B is also cancel, so you're canceling the whistling and running, and then canceling the whistling and running and whistling, so you're going back and forth, and so you don't actually use stamina, but you can run 80% as fast as you would normally run. It's probably more useful even than whistle running. I'm going to grab one stick, and I normally wouldn't grab a stick, but I just like to have this little sequence out of the way. Normally there's a bug here. Maybe I already scared it away. This is not a speed run. We're not going to be going super fast. You have crouched. And the bugs are all the way over there. I'll go to crouch must later. I'm going to grab these bugs. I don't know that I'll actually ever use them, but having attack up is very nice. So we have activated that first cutscene. There is another mighty bug, if I haven't scared it away, over here on this tree. There, I scared it away. We've activated the time cycle. You don't actually see a clock yet because it won't start until Zelda talks to you and says, hey, I'm not going to grab that baked apple because that guy will want us to talk to him. I'm going to skip that. We definitely want to grab this axe. Always grab the axe. Also, we are going to upgrade some slots. So we want at least 13 Korok seeds. So we're going to start our Korok seed acquisition here. So a speedrunner can get off of the Great Plateau in sub 20 minutes. I'm going to take about an hour to get off the Great Plateau. Because we're not speedrunning it, we're just playing the game to play the game and have fun. I am going to discuss some of the more advanced techniques which you can or can't use, but I'm trying to do this playthrough, this route in such a way that you wouldn't have to. So here's Zelda is talking to us.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
For some liquid refreshment. So you can see this bokoblin right here. You can fight him with your stick, but I'm actually going to whistle and distract him, so he's going to come over here, hopefully. And then I'm going to climb up. Yeah, so now he's behind me. I can climb up, get this chest, and he's on the wrong side of the wall now. It's funny that we put our pants in our pocket of our pants that we then put on before we had pants. I do want to switch to this. I'm going to turn this into wood. Traditionally, there's either a lizard. I think I already chased it away. A lizard or a bug over here. Oh well. Grab this Hyrule herb. Perfect. Didn't want that anyway, I guess. Might grab these guys. I just find that so satisfying. It's really not useful, but I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to use it to fall cancel out of the tower. And that way if I chuck it, which is what happens to me a lot of times, I don't care. Grab this food, I guess. So I'm actually not going to worry about these bow guys. Just headed to the tower here. Right before the tower, there is a guy, and we are going to kill him with stealth, hopefully. So sneak up on him, slow down maybe even. It's nice to kill him also because he always drops arrows. So, get some arrows, get a shield. Whoop, that was the wrong place to jump. Here we have another cutscene. I will skip that. I do like that scene, but maybe when you're watching this on YouTube on 1.5 speed, this won't be as annoying. The little drip, it takes forever. So skip this next scene. Alright, so I'm basically going to jump off here. I'm going to throw, but then when I start to let go, you have to begin to let go and start to throw. I'm going to press on my shield, and I'm going to unequip my shield. And that action of throwing and unequipping your shield resets the height. So let's see if this works. And what that did is I didn't hit the shield quick menu button fast enough, so I actually threw my weapon in my hand, which I think is the safer way than always making sure that you're doing it so fast. Sometimes if you don't let go of the throw button, and start to throw, and then you unequip your shield, if you haven't actually started to throw and he hits the ground, unequipping the shield doesn't make any difference. You have to be in the action of using a weapon and unequipping your shield for that to work. So anyway, I picked up that Boku Club because to me it's a junk throwaway weapon, so here, even though I threw it away, I won't try to go find it. It will still have been thrown into the world, but anyway, that is fall canceling, which we won't do a lot of because pretty soon we'll have the paraglider. If you're doing a lot of the speed running maneuvers like bullet time bouncing and stasis launching and things like that, then you do end up using a lot of fall canceling, but we're not going to. I don't know why I'm crouching so early these days. Here, Frouge. So, there's a thing that they call the claw grip, which is how you hold your controllers. It affects the way you can press the buttons. I don't typically use the claw grip during normal play, so I actually have to switch my hand position when I'm going to whistle sprint. I also switched my hand position to do wind bombing, which we will get into later. But you just have to see what works best for you. Probably the same as whatever you do. If you're already doing some claw type grips on other games, you will probably do it on this one, but if not, you probably won't. That's typical, as I find, as I do a inaccurate survey of my friends and family. So we're going to do the plateau in kind of the order they sort of expect you to, which is Cryonis, bombs, stasis, and then I'm sorry, this is magnesis. Magnesis, bombs, Cryonis, stasis, and then magnesis. Magnesis last. Which will also let us gather material on the plateau as we go. Including Korok seeds and gems. We are going to be buying things in this route, and we want that money. This is a handy trick. If you can learn to just do magnesis attacks, there's a lot of good you can do with that. There's no wear and tear on your weapons then. So here's our first bow that we're going to get. Really the only bow we're going to use on the plateau until we get the paraglider. So, in this next scene, and you can look this up, you want to wait until these words, "May the goddess smile upon you," disappear, and as soon as they're gone, then you want to skip. If you skip early, the loading of the world hasn't happened actually, and it takes longer to load. You'll just look at this loading scene for 4 to 8 more seconds. So you want to just wait. And that's true in every shrine that you do. Sometimes I still forget, but... Ah, the old man. You can see there's a purple chest. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. But there's a purple chest right down there by me. That's showing that I have the downloadable content for this game, which is super fun, and I would recommend. But I'm going to try to play the game as if I didn't have that, so that my family that watches this and follows my route, if they don't have it, it will still apply to them. If you know what you're doing, this world is full and despair. There's plenty of weapons, there's lots and lots of money to be gotten. I try to grab these fish, although normally I don't bother for just that reason. Pain. I get this. What's all these frogs? I don't feel like there are normally this many frogs. Weird. Alright. We'll go get the only ice arrows on the plateau, so I think they're well worth getting. So here I am sort of using a modified claw grip because I want to be able to, wow, it's not working anyway, to move the piece as I go so then I can run to it. But I really struggled for a long time with crossing bridges like this without falling off, and I eventually realized it's because the original controller that I had stick drift, and which donk. So if that's happening to you a lot, it's probably not because it's probably because of the controller that you've got. It's a classic Nintendo Switch problem. The controllers, almost all of them essentially eventually have stick drift of the originals on the left controller specifically. You don't need to cut that down, I just did because I feel like it gets in the way of the camera when I'm trying to do this, and it's faster to cut it down than to mess with it. So, we're finally going to go do some battling. Gonna take out the archers that we skipped before, and we're going to fight the only reason we take out these archers again is to get arrows, and we're going to go over here to this camp. And again, I'm primarily doing that because there's a lot of arrow drops in the boxes that are there. So these guys are a single shot headshot, and there's all these arrows out in the field. I want to make sure you get all those. We are going to have arrows is typically a thing that people are concerned about with this game. They tend to be something that's tough to get sometimes. But I find, again, with this route and the way that I'm going to do it, I never have any trouble. I usually end up with 100+ arrows. It's interesting, they did not drop arrows that time. I've never seen that. So I'm not whistle sprinting here because I didn't want to alert the various watchable goblins. If you run and then strike with a two-handed weapon, you'll pull it out instantly and hit, rather than if you walk up to something and then you have to pull out your weapon and you have to, it's two different actions. Also, there's something called attack canceling. So that action takes, 1/1000, takes almost a full second. So if I attack and then jump, I'm not stuck in that animation. You can cook something here if you want. Make a couple of meals. I'm going to make meals eventually for later, but it's not critical here. An easier thing to even cook would be these, or the fish. I might actually make... I don't know why I cooked so many of the butterflies. It's only going to be a single effect anyway, so... Oh well. I forgot those weapons. Somehow I thought it was an amber. So now I officially have too many crappy weapons now. Alright, so now on to bombs. Grab us another one of these. And I don't really need any more of those, so whistle sprinting. So typically you come from behind this set of ruins here, and you go all the way to the edge, and what that does is there are some decayed guardians there. You see one right there, and some of them will activate. So if you stay all the way back here, you're safe from them, or if you stay on the walls, you are safe from them. There is a chest with amber at the front of these ruins. It's in a pond, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to bother. There will be 2 stalkins, I think they're called, when I come out of this, because it'll be nighttime. But check that out when we get there. There is a Traveler's Claymore in a room to the right after you go through this first bombable doorway. I am not going to bother with that. I wouldn't. I don't imagine that I would use it in this route. So it does 10 damage, and it's a 2-handed weapon, and it's not. Anyway, just not worth it in my opinion. So, there's a moving platform that's coming up, and what happens to most people is they get on the moving platform, the moving platform is moving closer to where you have to bomb, and so you throw a bomb, and you don't let it get far enough away from you before you explode it, and then it explodes you as well. You have to, just like that. I thought I was going to show you a cleaner version. So if you can throw the bomb a little sooner, it won't do that. It's interesting to me that it did no damage. I had no heart damage. This is just an amber. I'll probably go grab it just because. But again, not strictly necessary. That glowing ball does nothing in this shrine, so don't bother with it. So the way they set it up is for you to put a bomb in that one. But if you bomb right where that seam is, it will clear out all everything that you need. It's only 8:45, so they're not out yet. So, if you feel good about your ability to deflect Guardian Beams, then you can do this. Hopefully I won't try to be showing it off and not do it, but you're about the right distance from there when the cutscene starts. And as soon as the flash happens, you hit A, and that deflects the beam. I do feel like there is my reaction time, there's a tiny bit of, oh, there's a Stalkin. Goodbye. Oh, that's weird. Where did they all come from? Goodbye. Rusty sword. That was nonsense. We're going to that shrine. You saw an orange in the distance. But on the way, I'm gonna head this way. So over in those trees right over there is another one of the mighty rhino beetles. But again, so I'm not whistling, I'm not running, because I don't want to aggro these guys. You can sneak up on them if you want, or now that you have bombs, you can just bomb them to death. If you want. I think is kind of fun. So, and then the trick to these, the hives, is use bombs. And not only does that knock the tree down, but it gets rid of the bees. If you ever use bombs on any of the... Usually whenever I knock a tree down, I cut the wood, because it's only one hit then. If you cut a tree down normally, it takes 3 hits. 1, 2, and then you gotta chop it, and that's 3. But if you bomb it, that's... And then, whoop, just takes 1 hit. So... oh, there was another beetle. Again, not too worried about it. So you come over here because there's a chest that gives you your first 5 bomb arrows. Bomb arrows are considered one of the more valuable, or they are considered the most valuable of the arrows. But we're going to end up with plenty of them as well. I'm trying to grab some of these stamina ingredients. Those are going to come in helpful later. So, also going to grab the pot lid. The pot lid is the most broken of the shields because it does almost no damage, or it has almost no shield number capacity, but it's very durable. So it's quite a beating before breaking. That's true by comparison to any. Like usually when the shield number is low, the durability is low as well, but the pot lid is the exception. So, in many ways, it's a better shield than the Boku shield. It's a good... the garden weapons are pretty decent early game damage. We don't use them a lot, but so one thing you can do, for example, here again, sort of a waste, but just to give you the vibe, you can wake all these guys up. Wake up, boys, and then they will group together here to get their weapons, and voila, they're all dead. So. Not that I would recommend that all the time, but it's a quick way to kill a whole camp full of red bokoblins. It won't kill a blue bokoblin, but actually maybe it will. Maybe I should try that. Because I think they have 48 hit points, and the explosion of bomb arrows does 50 damage. Most of the reason you come down here is right over here. There's this area, and again, use a bomb because there is a beehive in here, so that gets rid of the beehive and drops it down. And also you get this chest, which has another 5 bomb arrows. So, pretty sweet. Since I already made a heat resistance elixir, that's working great. For the Sheikah stealth gear, sunset fireflies are very useful because you want to get it to that second. I find that you pretty much have to cut that tree down. You can't bomb it. Not in a useful way. Anyway, it's nice to get extra sunset fireflies because they are needed for that second upgrade. Now, second upgrade gives you... Nice, knocked him off in the first go. Goodbye. And the Sheikah armor gives you speed up at night, which is really helpful, I think. And of course it gives you better armor, so. I'm pretty sure you need 15 of those. You can get quite a few of them in Kakariko Village, which is where you're going to get the Sheikah here as well. I don't know why, but I find this to be one of the most tedious parts of the game, climbing this wall. You basically just follow the path of the rush rooms. Oh. Oh, I almost didn't make that. That was crazy. Don't climb down. What are you doing, Link? Operator error. Maybe because I just do this sort of thing so infrequently after this that I'm not very good at it. So if it goes to all red, if there's no green, you jump much higher than you normally would. It's sort of like not a double jump exactly, but so if you're gonna wait, what you shouldn't do is jump early while you still have green. If you think you're not gonna make it, you want to actually wait until right at the very end when it's all red, because you'll actually jump higher on that in the very end. It's 4:35. These guys are gonna die from the sun. Except they didn't. Usually spear weapons are one of the ones to kind of be afraid of because they don't have a lead up to attack you. They just attack you. But the Stalkins, luckily, they don't. They always have a lead up. They want to attack you right away. I don't actually want that. In fact, I don't want so many of those either. There is a iron sledgehammer in here. I highly recommend getting. You can actually come back every blood moon. It's just sitting in the environment, so it will come back. There are lots of other places to get iron sledgehammers, but it's nice to know where one is early game. There's actually two right here by the Stasia Shrine. So Stasis is one of the runes where if you click on it, you can see it was only partway used. So here I can stasis this before it goes by. If I had let it unstasis by itself, I would have had to wait for stasis to recharge. I'm going to grab this shield. And I'm actually going to drop this shield because I think it's so bad. So, durability, if a weapon is shiny, you can see those shininess, it means it's never been used. And durability, other than that, the moment you use it one time, it doesn't show that shine anymore. But you'll know durable, the most used, if you have two items that are exactly the same, if one is more used than the other, it will be in front of this one. So whatever one is further to the right of the two, that is the one that you want to use if you've used more than one and you're trying to figure out, oh, I used them both, dang it, which one has more durability. So wait till the words disappear and then skip. So here, if I was to climb up to this cliff here by just climbing, eventually I would run out. I don't have quite enough stamina, but these walls are sloped enough I can whistle sprint up them. Maybe not right there, but I can keep whistle sprinting, and you can get much higher by whistle sprinting than you can without it. So under that rock is a chest. It does have another bow, but we don't need it. I'm not going to bother with it. The speedrunning strat would be to stasis that boulder and then charge it up, climb on top of it. I want to be full brain here. But I'm not going to do that. Usually I wait, but here I'm just going to go ahead and tons of time on this, so and again we're going to get the warm doublet. Now you can see the blue cob in there. You can fight him, he's got a decent weapon, but we don't need it. I'm going to whistle sprint, which calls him over here, so he'll go behind me, and then I'm just going to turn off and never have to deal with him. You're trying to stay to sort of the rocky part. If you looked at it and you're on the rocky part, you sprint much faster. When you're slowed down by the snow, not nearly as fast. So the trouble with some of the rocky part is, something else you can do is you can jump over hills with shield surfing, just kind of a faster way to move. But you do, every time you touch your shield to the ground, you do damage to it. So here I'm staying on the rock, and even though it's further out, which is a little bit longer path, it's faster than being on the snow. And here you can just climb up at this point if you want. So the old man, he's going to talk to you, and he's going to say, gazing out the world, and then you're going to talk to the breathtaking view. I'm going to skip that, and then he's going to give us a warm doublet. But what he's telling you about, so now we have our second piece of clothing, is that if you're here and you look, you can see, if not all of the towers, basically all of them. So if you're ever struggling with that, here's all of the towers. The only exception is there should be a tower way over there, and I don't see it. I see this tower, but that may be the exception. So, first place we're going to go is called Satori Mountain, and it's this mountain right here. You can see this tower next to it. There's the bird right above it. And we're going to go basically right there. There's a shrine. So, once we get off the plateau, Satori Mountain is like the bread basket of... Oh, that did some fall damage. Dang it. Guess it's good I did make a meal. Alright, I need to pause, but I will come right back to it.